What's up everyone, Chris Rogers here with an extra special video today on the brand new HERO8 Black from GoPro. Once again, they've taken things to the next level. I've been very lucky to test this camera out for about the last 2 to 3 months now. And you know, there's a lot of things I enjoy about this camera. There's a few things I'm not too crazy about. I'm going to break that down in this video today. But without further ado, here are some of my favorite moments I've captured on the HERO8 Black in the last 2 to 3 months.
3, 2, 1.
So one of the obvious changes on the HERO8 Black for this year is the form factor. Basically, GoPro have removed the frame and included foldable fingers to mount the camera, and they have completely removed the detachable lens. It's all built in now. One of the advantages of this is the lens no longer fogs up, and we have just one flap now, and the battery shape is exactly the same. It is a new battery with new technology. We'll get into more details on that later. But overall, it's just a cleaner, more flush design and a lot more user-friendly. So I think one of my favorite new features on the HERO8 Black is the fact that we have Hypersmooth 2.0 in every mode and resolution. This has been quite a game changer for someone like me who likes to shoot in slow motion because I shoot a lot of action sports. So now having smooth slow motion footage has been really nice, not having to use a gimbal, especially because I shoot a lot of water-based activities. And as we know, gimbals are not waterproof, so Hypersmooth 2.0 in all resolutions has been really helpful, and as well as having boost to add that extra stabilization for certain situations has been really helpful. I'm not the biggest fan of boost in terms of how much it crops, but for certain situations it has worked really well. I think boost is going to be really popular for doing follow cams, whether it's snowboarding, skateboarding or wakeboarding. It crops a little bit more, but the difference on how smooth the footage is really noticeable. I have done a side-by-side comparison between the Hypersmooth on the HERO7 and Hypersmooth 2.0 on the HERO8 Black. I didn't find it extremely noticeable in the beginning, but having looked back at some of the footage, you can see in some of these wakeboarding clips that the horizon is a little bit more stable on the HERO8 footage. So another great new feature in the HERO8 is the presets functionality. This has really improved the user friendliness of the camera, and it now allows a user to easily change their settings. I have different settings according to what I'm filming. If I'm shooting POV, you know, maybe some slow motion, or shooting at night or underwater, I have different settings for each of those situations. So now to be able to save those settings as presets has made it a lot easier to change between the modes. So as you can see here, I'm able to easily change my settings while on the go. I was busy wake surfing. I wanted to switch it from slow motion to POV, and I was able to do that with literally just 2 clicks of the LCD, whereas on the HERO7 that would have taken a minimum of 4 touches on the screen. As you can see with the side-by-side comparison with the HERO8, we changed settings with literally 2 touches of the camera, and if you look on the HERO7 Black, it takes about 4 clicks just to change to the exact same settings, whereas it takes 2 clicks on the HERO8. So once again, GoPro have stepped up their photo capabilities again. You know, I think a lot of people forget that GoPro started out as a photo camera, and they haven't forgotten about that. We now have raw photo capabilities in all modes, from time-lapse to burst. I personally use time-lapse at every half a second to capture most of my photos, and now to be able to have raw photos in that mode has become super useful. So another thing with shooting time-lapse at half a second, your screen no longer goes blank while shooting. You can actually frame your shot while it's capturing a time-lapse. So as you can see by the side-by-side comparison, the HERO7 screen is capturing a time-lapse, but the screen is blank and we can't see our framing, where on the HERO8 Black we can see each photo as it's being captured, and continue to monitor our framing. I found this super useful on a shoot recently. We were swimming with whale sharks and I was trying to get some product and use shots, and after capturing video shots I was able to easily switch over to time-lapse mode and frame the photos as I was swimming next to Tegan and the whale shark. The raw photo capabilities in the Hero 8 have really upped the game for post-production editing on GoPro photos. I personally use my Lightroom presets to edit my photos. They can take your raw GoPro photos looking something like this to this, or this to this. And here are a couple other examples of some Hero 8 photos I've taken over the last 2 to 3 months and edited with my Lightroom presets. If you're interested in upping your GoPro photo editing skills, you can check out my Lightroom presets. I'll have them linked below. They work with all GoPros from the Hero 4 all the way through to the new Hero 8 Black. And if you want more details, I have that all linked below. So last year when GoPro introduced the Hero 7 Black, they introduced an amazing new feature called Time Warp. This allowed GoPro users to easily create amazing hyperlapses with their GoPro. And on the Hero 8 Black, they've included 2 new features, actually 3 new features on Time Warp. The first one being access to Pro Tune. So with that, we can now adjust our ISO, our exposure value, our white balance while shooting hyperlapses. I found this super handy when I was recently shooting in New York. I traveled all the way there to capture a couple hyperlapses on the new Hero 8, and on one of the days I found the sky a little bit overexposed for my liking. I was able to access Pro Tune on the Hero 8 and decrease the exposure value. So as you can see by the side-by-side comparison, the Hero 7 footage, the sky is a little bit more blown out than the Hero 8, but having access to Pro Tune is definitely a game changer for pro consumers. They've also introduced a feature called Time Warp Ramp. Now what this does is allows users to change between a hyperlapse and real-time video. So I've used this quite a bit, and as you can see in this example clip, I'm skateboarding down the promenade, I switch to real-time video, film my roommate, and switch back to a hyperlapse. And then in the second clip, I'm cycling through the forest, I switch to real-time video, and then switch back to a hyperlapse. So this feature's been quite fun to play with, and you can get pretty creative with it. And finally, the third new feature in terms of Time Warp on the Hero 8 Black is the auto speed function. So previously you would have to have manually set the speed of your hyperlapse on the Hero 7 Black. Now you can choose auto and it will scan and detect your footage and determine how fast or slow the hyperlapse should be, which is super useful for beginners shooting time warps. Another nice addition to the Hero 8 is the grid lines feature. This has become super handy for framing certain shots, and I found it super useful when capturing time warps. As you can see here, you can see the grid lines on the Hero 8, and there's obviously no grid lines on the Hero 7, but it is super helpful for when you want to frame certain shots. New form factor on the Hero 8 for this year, I was a little bit concerned about some of the compatibility issues I was going to potentially have with some of my favorite third-party accessories. One of them being G-Dome. G-Dome is a company I started a few years ago with some friends of mine, and basically it allows you to capture amazing split shots like you see here, as well as incredible underwater footage with your GoPro. What we found with the Hero 8 is we're actually able to use it in our new universal smartphone housing, so we can just remove our iPhone or smartphone from the housing, put in our Hero 8, and it works pretty well to capture amazing split shots and underwater video and photo with the Hero 8. And here is some example footage that I've captured over the last couple months using the G-Dome mobile with the Hero 8. If you want to check out the Dome for either your smartphone or your GoPro, I'll have that link below as well. Another accessory that I've really started using a lot over the last year is an accessory called Air Video. This basically allows you to throw your GoPro and capture pretty amazing FPV style shots. They like to call themselves the poor man's drone. I've really enjoyed using this while cliff jumping, and with the introduction obviously of Hypersmooth to the slow motion modes, it's just made the footage even smoother. So as you can see by some of these example shots here, it's a pretty amazing and unique shot you can capture with your GoPro. And if you want to check that out, I'll have that link below. It doesn't fit, I wouldn't say the Hero 8 fits perfectly in this accessory, but it fits well enough to be able to get these shots. So it's about 95% there, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Air develop a new mold for the Hero 8. So one of the things I found to be a little bit disappointed on with the new Hero 8 was the size of the LCD screen on the back. It is exactly the same size as the Hero 7, but if you're looking at it, it does feel like there's more room to play with there. and that they could have made the screen a little bit bigger, so it gives off the impression that the LCD screen is actually smaller, when in fact it is the same size. But I do feel like this is something that GoPro probably could have made a little bit bigger, and hopefully something they will on future cameras. Okay, so that about wraps it up on my review for the Hero 8. I'm not a review channel, as most of you know who watch my channel. I am very much travel and action sports orientated, but I do feel that my opinion on this product is relatively valuable, as I use it to literally shoot 99% of my content. And no discredit to any of the tech channels out there, but you know, shooting in your studio, your Tesla, is not the most extreme thing. It's a pretty arrogant thing to say.
No, I think that's pretty funny. You should keep it in.
Just the tech guys. Okay. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. That's my sort of 2 cents on the Hero 8. If you guys want to check out more, I'll have links below. If you want to buy the product, I believe it's up for pre-order this week. I'll have that link below as well. Also, if you want to check out my Lightroom presets for editing your GoPro photos, that will be linked below as well. And of course, as I do every year, I have one of these cameras to give away. If you would like to win the new Hero 8 Black, all you need to do is record any part of this video and post it on your Instagram story and tag myself and GoPro South Africa. This is a international giveaway. It's not limited to South Africa, but because I am from South Africa, that is the GoPro social handle I represent online. So be sure to post that, tag both of us, follow both of us as well, and we will pick a winner in the next week or so and send you the brand new Hero 8. And what else? And finally, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I released a video that we recorded on the Hero 8 in Europe last week. We were invited on a very secret private trip and challenge. There was 16 GoPro athletes and ambassadors, and basically we were given a challenge to travel to Innsbruck, and we were all placed in random locations 800 miles away and had 5 days to get there and capture as many epic things as we possibly could. So if you want to see some amazing stuff we captured on that road trip with the Hero 8, be sure to check that out as well. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys very soon. Yoo!